Hello. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're all okay. I am full of cold, absolutely full of it. So yay me. But it's fine. It's only a cold. Just it's like really, it's been very full on the last few weeks. Little man is so poorly, bless him. I've just come back over from the shop. Josh has got him today. And you know, when they're so full of temperature and cold, they're just scarred. His little cheeks are scarlet, bless him. He's really, really poorly, love him. He's got a proper cold. He doesn't want to eat. And for Jonah, that's unbelievable. So, yeah, because he's a food monster. Couple little things. So if you bought the coronation blanket kit, you know, the Serdar crochet along, I put a little post up. You need to make sure that you sign up on the Serdar website with your email address, and they will send you the pattern weekly and the video as well. So we're not going to be doing videos because they've got the designer actually doing the videos, and hers will be a lot better than us. So just make sure if you've done that, do that one for you. Oh yeah, it's Happy St David's Day. Totally forgot. It's the 1st of March, isn't it? So Happy St David's Day, everybody. If that's something you celebrate. Let's say hello to people. Say hi Anne, hi Jean, hi Kate, hi Natalie, hi Carolyn. Hello, my darlings. So the van arrived this morning. Sarah and I have packed that. That's done. Subscription boxes have just gone in the post as well, so they're done. We're on it like Sonic today. Should I have a cold more often? No, I was going to say I'll have a cold more often. I'm busy, but no, actually, you really don't want another cold. That was that. We still have one space left on April retreat. If anybody wants to come, please grab it quickly, okay? So because we have to put final numbers in very shortly. So if you'd like to join us for the April retreat, then have a little call of us. No, have a little call of us. Give us a call, and we can give you all the details. Is what I'm trying to say. Hi Marilyn. Hi Pauline. Hello, my darlings. I think that was everything. So coronation blanket retreat. Off to Duxford in the morning. Anybody who's come in, please do say hello. Oh, you forgot about the subscription box. Yeah, that's gone out in the post. That's all ready. So, yeah, so what we're going to do today is we're going to have a little play with quarter square triangles. We're going to do a disappearing quarter square triangle. There's lots of different ways you can do this, but I've been playing around with something that I think comes out really cool. It's really sort of different. So we're going to go to the... Hi Karen, last watching on time today. Oh bless you. Hi Carol, can't stay today, you're going out for lunch. Oh, that's all right, lovely. Have a lovely lunch. Let me come over to the here. Hi Eileen as well. Thank you, darling. So what we're going to do is we're going to do quarter square triangles today, okay, which is something we've looked at before, but we're going to do disappearing ones, which make this really cool, like abstract looking thing, okay. I used some scraps of my Ruby Star fat quarter bundle because I didn't want to cut into any of the new fat quarters, so I cut some squares out to test the pattern. And what we're doing, there's lots and lots of different ways to do it, but I'm going to show you this way, which gives this really sort of abstract, really modern looking block. But then I thought, what if we did it with a layer cake? So because these I cut 8-inch squares out of, just because that's what I could get out of my scraps. I was like, oh yeah, I can get some 8-inch squares out. Let me just have a play and see how it works, see what we can make. So that's what I did with this. But we're going to use a layer cake today, and we're going to use this one. I just used lots, as you can see, lots of different colours on them. But I want to have a look at what happens when we put a plain with a pattern. And how does that come out? So that's what we're going to have a little go at today. Exactly the same technique. You can play around with your fabrics. So what we're going to do is I've got this lovely layer cake here, which is one of the Ruby Star ones. And we're going to choose some of the patterns out of it. So we're going to go with that one, I think, because that's really bright. And then let's go with that. Ooh, let's go with the mushrooms. Why not, eh? Let's go with the mushrooms. And I want 3 colours. Let's go with one of the blacks as well. Oh, let's go with the dragonfly, the grey, isn't it? Dragonflies. Okay, so put those out. Now you could make as many blocks as you want. I'm going to just do 3 for now, but you could use as many as one. You could absolutely just use a normal layer cake, and we could pair these up, okay, and you would get more of a block colour like this one. Okay, you'd get more of that block one. I know it's freezing a little bit. I'm really sorry. I can't do anything about that. It's just one of those things at the moment. If you used like 2 together, you'd get this very, very bright block colour. But we're going to see what happens when we put a plain in. So I've got one of these Bella Solid plain layer cakes, and we're going to use that and see what effect we get, and then we can work out which we like best. So you're going to play along with me today, because I've not done this version before, so I don't know how it's going to work. So what I'm going to do to start with is I'm going to make some half square triangles. So I've got my patterns, and then I'm going to put a plain with each of them like that. Okay, and we're going to make half square triangles. So I'm going to start by lining those up like that. Oh, come on, get that one out nicely. So half square triangles we've done lots and lots of before, and nice and easy to do. I need a longer ruler though, because that one won't work. We're going to draw a line diagonally right the way across. I quite liked the fact that this looked really modern and abstract, but also like you'd done a lot of work and you were really not going to. Okay, so we're going to do that one, and then we're going to do this one, and we're going to make 3 sets of half square triangles to start with. Okay, like that. So do that one like that. Over we go. Here we go, and then we're going to do this one as well. So we've got this really, really bright, really like vivid colour against the white. And I mean, I might not like it. I might prefer it as all the block colours, but let's try it and see. Let's try it and see. Okay, you can do this with any size square, but I just thought layer cakes are perfect, aren't they? Because they're already done. So because it's a half square triangle, I've drawn a diagonal line, and we're going to stitch a 1/4 inch down both sides. Okay, so we're going to do that first. So over to the machine, and I'm just going to chain piece away on here. So, thanks Andy. Yeah, it came out really cool, didn't it? I really liked it. I think it'd be a really good way of using it. This one would be a good way for using it, making it mega scrappy. And I think you could just cut, as long as you've got all the same size square, cut off squares out of your scraps and stuff. You could do it with a charm pack. It would be quite small blocks then, but why not? Give it a go. But I thought we'd try it with a layer cake and see what happens when you put a plain fabric with it. And then, so what's everybody been up to? Anybody been up to anything interesting? What have you been making? I'm really hungry today. I need some food. Can't decide what to have though. Probably just have a cup of soup or something because it's quick and easy. Right, so I've gone all the way down one side, and then I'm going to turn them, and I'm going to go all the way down the other side. So down we go. We're going to make half square triangles to start with. There we go, down this one. Like that. Coming up to the next one. Lift that. There we go, that one. So you could do all of this prep work. If you're going to make a quilt or a bag or something with your layer cake, you could do all this prep work first. Make sure that they're all your half squares are done, because it's nice to be able to chain piece, isn't it? There we go. Nearly at the end of the last one. Like that. Okay. Is that really wobbly today? Is the camera moving lots? Hi, what block are we doing? We're doing a disappearing 1/4 square triangle today, Marianne. Let me just come over and just very quickly show you again. We're having a little play today. It's a little bit different. We're doing this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up now. I'm making half square triangles to start with, and then I'm going to make them into 1/4 squares, and then we're going to disappear them. So cut up the line, then I'm going to iron them. But I really wanted to, after I was making those up, I thought, oh, it's fab in all these bright colours. But what would happen if we did a background fabric with them? So that's what I'm doing. There's a background fabric as well on this version, and then we can decide which one we like best. It vibrates when you stitch. Oh dear, I think I might need to reclamp it and but then soon it's all going to be lovely because I'm going to have my sewing room back. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to iron these out to the darker fabric. So keep those plain ones out like that. So I'm just going to do one of each for the moment because you want to mix and match these up a little bit. Here we go. So that one and that one. And then we're going to have one of these ones. I love these little mushrooms. They're so cute. Here we go. Give that a good press. Like that. And then I'm going to need one more because I've got 2 sets. So let's have the other black one for now. Here we go. So you can do, like I said, you can do this in any size, okay? The half square triangles could be made with any size square, starting square, all right? You've got 3/4 of a leg cake. What do you want to do with? Not anymore. It'd be perfect. Absolutely. Fantastic. And then what you're going to do is you're going to mix and match them. So I'm going to put those 2 together and these 2. And then obviously those 2 would go together as well. But we don't need to do that just now. But then I'd put those 2. So you've always got different ones. Okay. So 1/4 square triangles. What we're going to do is you want them to be opposite. So I want them... I'm going to put them together, right sides together, so that the white is over this and the colour is over the white. All right? And we're going to put them right sides together. And the important bit here is to get that seam to nest. So you want to run up your finger along the seam. And I don't know if you saw then, that kind of clicked in there. Okay? I want to make sure it's lined up as near as I can and kind of click it in so they're really like butted up against each other. And then pop a couple of pins in across that seam to hold that seam together like that. Okay, we're now going to draw another line and we're going to go corner to corner in the opposite direction to the seam. So can you see the seams running that way? So we're going to run the diagonal line this way. So I'm going to go across there to there in the opposite direction of the seams and draw another line like that. Okay, and I'm going to do that with my second pair as well. So I've got that one and that one, and then line them right sides together, making sure that they're opposites, and make sure that that is nicely, see, that was a little bit far up. Come on, there we go. Get those seams. Oh, that seam doesn't want to play ball. It's messing about a little bit. Come on. Get that, there we go, got it tucked in. So basically I'm just kind of moving it so I can feel it lock. If you get that lock in, it works so much better. Okay, and then kind of do this so that you know that it's lined up like that. Make sure it's nice and flat. Oh, excuse me, sorry about the sniffling. I am very, very snuffly. Joined in this morning with an embroidery. Oh, lovely. Oh, that sounds amazing. I'm not done a lot of embroidery. Sian's really good at embroidery. She's done loads. And then again, I'm just going to line that ruler up and line all the way down. So I'm going to take both of these to machine now, and I'm going to just same again. I'm going to go 1/4 of an inch either side. Yeah, that's it, Lynn. Off to detention you go, my darling. You can watch the start later, hun. Yeah, we're doing disappearing 1/4 squares today. So I'm going to go all the way down here like that. Make sure that it moved a weeny bit. So I'm just making sure that seam's nice and flat. Over we go, all the way down that side. It does. It's really wobbling, isn't it? I don't know why it is. I've got it clamped in quite well. Just sorry, guys, if you're just going to put up with a weeny bit of a wobble. Like I said, in a couple of weeks' time, when that room is all sorted, I'm going to have all new studio, and it's all going to be like wired in properly and everything. There we go. So I'm going to try and go a bit slower so that it doesn't wobble quite so much. Don't worry too much if you half squares don't match exactly. It really won't matter. We're going to square them up. And then I'm going to do this one as well. Ooh. Go. Go down this one. So you would make as many of these quarter squares as you wanted, okay? I mean, you're going to make a lot with a layer cake, but you don't have, like I said, you don't have to use a layer cake. You can use anything with them. Can you hear? Can you hear that banging? I don't know if you can, but that is Josh and Little Man. Josh trying to occupy Little Man because he's so grizzly today, bless him, where he feels so rubbish. All the way down like that. There we go. They are just banging and crashing up there. I have no idea what they're doing. There we go. So, pins out. It sounds like they're going to come through the ceiling. Wasn't noisy like that when Drew was up there. And then I'm going to cut up the line again, okay? Like that. And then same on that one. Take those pins out and cut up the line. There we go. So, ironing again. Nothing better than having your own yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna, well, I'll be able to get my dining room table back, which is nice. And be able to have all the cameras set up properly. So what you've got there now, can you see? Oh, see? It's worth fiddling with that seam because I've got a really nice point there. Okay. Like that. And there's my quarter square. Okay, so you could just leave them like that. They look really cool like that, but we're gonna disappear them as well to make them really interesting. That one, and then we've got mushrooms. Here we go. What was that? It was, oh, I've missed something. Applique. Sounds like you've got the builders in. I know. I can't believe how noisy they're being up there. Josh is desperately trying to like entertain him because he's feeling so rubbish and he's so grizzly. So like Josh is in full clown mode trying to keep him going. Oh, I missed what you were saying, Karen, but I will look back later on your comments. So what we're going to do now is you'd make all your quarter squares up. Okay, so I've got a couple going here. So we're just going to use 2 of them to start with. And we're going to disappear these, but what I want to do first of all is square these up a little bit so that after I've disappeared them and put them back together, they'll fit together. So the idea is to keep everything in one room. It's not working in your house. Oh, bless you. Oh, don't worry about being late, lovely. Jane, that's absolutely fine. So I can easily get a 9-inch square out of this now. So half of 9 is 4.5. So I find the 4.5 and 4.5 and I want that dead centre. So the 4.5 by 4.5 is hitting there. And I'm going to trim this down to 9 inches. I won't quite get 9.5 out. So I'm going with 9 on this. There we go. And then 9 by 9. There we go, like that. So trim all that off like that. And you've got your quarter square done. Okay, I'm going to do it on the same on the second one. So find my 4.5, 4.5. That's going to go dead center there. Make sure that 45-degree line is running up. Oh, I'm only just in there, but that's okay. Can I just give myself a teeny tiny bit of wiggle room? There we go. Like that. Oh, let's get rid of those. Oh, I didn't get that new blade for this rotary cutter. Booey. And then we're going to go 9 by 9. So there we go, 9 by 9. So do all your prep work first, okay? So do all these quarter squares first, like that. And then we get to play. So what you want to do is, now you could absolutely, I'm going to use 2.5 inches, okay? Oh, should I use 2? Well, I might do 2 actually. I think 2 might be interesting because that's more balanced, I think. We're going to do 2 inches. I did 1 3/4 on these ones because they were smaller squares to start with. Okay, on this one, it was a 1 3/4. But because I started with a bigger square, basically I want it to be a little bit balanced. So I want this cut to be approximately halfway, a little bit less than halfway. Okay, so you could absolutely cut 2-inch strip off either side and just flip those over and you get another looking block. But I decided what happens when you put that and that. We're going to do like an L-shaped cut and see what happens. So we're going to go 2 inches up the left like that. And we're going to move the ruler, not the block, and we're going to go 2 inches along the bottom, like that. Okay, so we're going to cut there. And what we've done now is we've done this. So we've got this little block that looks like that. On the other one, I just swapped these two, one like that and one like that. Okay, so we've got that happening. Okay. Is that making sense so far? You can turn this as well. I don't like the white against the white though. I like to keep it so that you've got what's the word? You've got colour touching colour. I think that works best. You don't have to keep these like this, okay? You could have them so you've got these little points pointing inwards, like that. Okay, and you're making all sorts of really random, really unusual shapes like that now. Okay, can you see what's happening? You've got these really unusual little pieces happening, okay? Which is kind of giving you that really abstracty look, but I'm going to stick to what it was on the original one. So, hang on, let me just re-iron that one. It's just not ironed quite right. There we go. Let's put that back there. So I'm going to stick to how I did on the original one, was keep those on the outside like that, and that so that nothing is touching like that. So I've got colour against white, white against colour. All right, we're going to put this back together now. So I'm going to stitch this one to this one, and then that one to that one, and then we're going to do the same on a different block. So we're going to add that to that. Okay, just line up those edges and stitch those back 1/4 inch like that. So I'm going to go 1/4 inch across there, and then this one's going to go against here like that. And I do tend to pin when I'm doing this sort of thing, even though I don't pin a lot. I know that this edge, that's the edge that I want to sew, because sometimes it's very easy to get it all muddled up. Okay, so back it over to the sewing machine, and we're going to sew those 2 edges. So I'm going to put those both back together, 1/4 inch, like that. Now, I know you've got a little bit of bulk here, so just go a little bit slow, and hopefully your machine doesn't eat it. She behaved well then. Up we go, like that. Just going to clip those corners. Sorry, do need to cough. And then take this out like that. So that's going to go up like that. And this one's going to go like that. So I want to iron these in opposite directions. So I'm going to iron that one to the big piece that way, and this to the little piece, so that I can nest this little seam here, okay? So we're going to iron that one to the big that way. So just gently press that one that way. It doesn't matter which way you press them really, because there's seams on both sides. It's just so that they're opposite when you put these together. And then we're going to put that one on there. So I'm then going to put this right sides together like that, nest that little seam, make sure those seams are going in opposite directions, and pop a pin in there like that. You can put a pin in here as well if you want, like that. And we're going to stitch that down, and that's your first block done. Back over here, what's that? Not in your house either. You think I've got sewing in every room. Karen, so would you cut all the blocks the same way? Yes, I would, lovely. I think that makes a really nice, interesting design. So you've got a bit of cohesion throughout the whole thing. You also know that they're all going to be the same size. So if you were cutting them different ways, it might mean that because of your seam allowances and stuff, that they're not necessarily going to end up the same size. So when you try to put them all together, but you could have an experiment with some scraps and see what happens if you cut some blocks one way and some blocks the other. That might work. Okay, I'm back over here, and then we're just going to iron that out again. So I'm going to iron that out that way, just to stop that bulk. a little bit. You've got, I quite like it with the white. It makes these colours seem a little bit more vivid, doesn't it? Although I think it would work beautifully like with the other one as well. But there's your first block done. Okay, so you've got that. Looks really, you know, slightly odd, like you've used lots of different angles and stuff, but relatively easy to do. So I'm going to do that again with the second one so we can start putting them together. You've got to go, hubby taking you for shopping and lunch. We'll finish watching later. Oh, that's not a bad thing, lovely, if you're getting taken shopping. So with this one, I'm going to cut into, I'm going to have this one down here, I think. So that I've got less, the side that you cut in, you're going to have less of that colour in each block. So again, we're going to go 2 inches down this side. Again, horizontal line here against the edge of the block, 2 inches up the side, like that. And then turn yourself rather than the block, line up the 2 inch there, like that. And we're going to go up there. Okay. I'm going to do exactly the same. So I'm going to swap that one and that one, like that. And we're going to sew them together. So that one to that one, that one to that one. Now whip that over to the sewing machine. We're going to sew there to there. Again, just pop a pin in. Oh, come here. Couldn't get the edge of the pin then. And then that one to that one. And again, pop a pin in. There we go. Like that. And stitch along there. So you're going to do the same over and over with your blocks. But I want to get 2 done so that we can kind of put them together and you can see how it might look. I think using a plain fabric in is really going to make these bright colours pop, and I also think it will make it go further as well, because you can make a much bigger quilt with your layer cake by using, you know, a background. I mean, it doesn't have to be a background layer cake, you could cut your own 10-inch squares, but why not? It's fine. There we go. Now I'm not going to take that back over and iron it, I'm going to wing it. Okay, so just so I can get this block done for you. I'm going to go that way, just finger pressing it. That's gone that way, so that one that way. Let's make sure that that is nested in there, like that. We'll put a pin in there like that, and then we can sew along, and I'll iron it all at the end. There we go. Oh, no. Ah! Rat bag. Decided to eat that little bit there. Should start a bit further down. There we go. I'll pin out so it doesn't get caught. There we go. Oh, I'm quite jealous of Andy being taken for lunch, because I think I'm going to have a cup of soup for lunch, which is very boring. So I'm just going to very quickly iron that one out now. Here we go. Get these really interesting blocks that look like you've put a lot of effort into them, and you really haven't. So you would make as many as you wanted, okay, and then you can mix and match them. So on the other one, I always put them so that I had that sort of L shape that go in that way across the top. I would make a lot of blocks and then lie it all out. So because I probably wouldn't want the black next to the black, but you then get these really like interesting shapes happening, which I think is very cool. It's very different, and it looks like you've spent hours like redoing all of these little, you know, pieces and everything. I quite like it with the white, I think, and the colour. I think that works quite well. I do like the other version as well. You don't have to keep them all like that. You could do this so that you're making like diamond shapes here, you know, and if you put another 2 down here, you'd make all these like really quirky sort of like, well, it's like a gemstone, isn't it, when you see like a diamond, you know, spinning type thing, you know, you can see facets and all into there, you know, so you could do them that way. You know, you can play around with it. It's a really different way, very easy to do, just with that quarter, you know, making that quarter square. And that's actually a really interesting block as is. I love a quarter square. I love a half square as well, but it's quite a nice little block. But just those two simple cuts. What size block is this ending up at? This is going to end up at 8.5-inch blocks now. Let me put this one out for you as well. Move that one up a weeny bit. So that's using a layer cake and a white. So you've got really cool, like quirky pops of colour. And then this one, like I said, you don't have to put the white in it or a background. You could just use all of your layer cakes, and these were smaller, but they end up that sort of size. You get a much more saturation of colour that way, which, you're using a lot more of the layer cake. You get less blocks doing it this way. But I just thought it was a really cool little technique. What happens when you cut into stuff, basically. So have a little play if you want. Grab your if you haven't got a layer cake, you don't necessarily know if you're going to like this technique. You haven't got a layer cake there, then just go in your scrap bucket and cut yourself some 10-inch squares and have a little play, because I think it's really cool. I really like it. I think if you were doing a whole quilt with this, you would then mix and match all those colours. You'd put different ones in. So, like, where is it? When I put these two together, you're not going to have any black in that one, but use the other colours as well. You mix and match. You've got that hot pink or whatever it is in your particular layer cake. I quite like the fact if you've got some big prints in your layer cake, this piece stays quite big, so you'd see quite a lot of the print as well. So that's it for today, my darlings. That is disappearing QSTs, quarter square triangles. I'm going to go because my throat is a little sore and a little grouchy, and I need to take some tablets. So Sarah will be here tomorrow. She's going to make a new type of pan holder with you. She's going to do that tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I will try and do some, what's the word? Oh my God, what's the word? Lives. I'll try and do some lives. Facebook lives from Duxford as well, okay? If I get a chance to, I will do that. And we normally have time to have a little wander around, don't we? So I will do that over the weekend for you. And I will see you properly next week. And yeah, hopefully this cold will be gone by then. But yeah, take care, my darlings. Have a good weekend. Bye!
And that, everybody.